Welcome to Tissue Talk. I have a wonderful guest today, Roberta Capurro, Marketing and Product Development Manager of WEPA, Italy. We'll dive into her fascinating career, talk about changes and challenges in the Italian market and why sustainability in Italy still has a way to go. A conversation about brands, innovation and the future of tissue market. You don't want to miss this. Roberta, thank you for coming. It's
Ciao,
for having you here.
Ciao Alessandra, it has been a pleasure.
Your correct title is Marketing and Product Development Manager.
Yeah.
For the people out there who don't know what your daily business look like, can you give us a little view about what you're doing exactly?
For sure. Mainly, I work in the marketing, and what does it mean marketing? Marketing means know about the market where you work, where your product live. So well know the market, know the contest, well know your shoppers, so the household and the people behavior. So usually I read a lot of data.
Yeah.
I did a lot of presentation, depending on the people to which I have to spoke to. And regarding product development, it has been a new job for me because I never did it before. I start here in WEPA to do this. Product development means study and try to understand new product to offer to your customers, especially here in WEPA, where we are mainly a supplier, as we do private label. We have to be always ready to offer something different, analyzing before the customer or the market itself. So I have contact with everybody, production, logistic, engineering, and so on. Usually the marketer knows everything in a bad way, but more or less everything.
That sounds like a really huge and full day. Is every day different?
It's completely different. Yeah. Yes. Every time I come in at office, I know that I have to do something, but very often I don't do what I have in mind because I have to do something different.
Nice.
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends what are the question, the request also of my colleague of sales, because I work very in a strict way with the key account and so all my colleague. I can't work alone. You have to share things. You have to understand what their needs, because they talk and they ask you what their customers needs. So yeah.
That sounds really interesting.
Yes, it is nice.
Yeah.
It is not, marketing is not only packaging or advertising, it is too. There is a very different way to advertise things. If you understand something, you then have to explain it. So that's what I do.
Nice, thank you. Really, very interesting. Before we are jumping into advertising, let's jump into your personal story, because I'm curious and like to get to know you a little bit better. I know that you started like 10 years ago at WEPA, but you haven't been in the tissue industry like for your whole life.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give us a little glimpse of how your story started.
Yeah, very little, because it's boring, and it's too quickly. So from the start to my age, so it goes very quickly. Yes, I'm in WEPA since 10 years. So in the marketing and tissue company. I started in a tissue company. The last name, because we changed a lot of owner, was Georgia Pacific. Then Georgia Pacific was sold to Essity. All the company in Europe. Sorry, I speak with my hands because I'm Italian. I can't do without. Yeah. So when Essity bought Georgia Pacific, just the Italian part was sold to Lucart, which was anyway a tissue competitor before. There I decided not to continue in the tissue and to stay in my town, which is Genova. It is not Lucca, and on the sea. And I stayed there for 2 years in a tuna company, where I learned a lot, but I did a completely different job. I was the personal assistant of the president of the company. But 2 years later, he left, so I left me too, because we were working very, very in a strict way. So, and then I received a phone call from one of my old colleagues, who was Sandro, and he worked in WEPA since a lot of time. And he told me, Roberta, are you interested in coming here in Lucca to be the marketing manager? And I said, okay, for sure. When? Oh, in 3 days. And I said, okay, I do.
That's quite spontaneous.
I was 50. So it has been a big change for me, but I decided it immediately. And I am really very happy to have done this kind of change in my life.
You hit the calling, actually, yeah, and felt that it was the right way to go. With all the experience you received in the last years, and also blinking into a different industry, how did it change your approach to marketing? How did you, what did you learn exactly, and how did it change the way you're working right now?
Let me say that when I came in WEPA, it was completely different before my previous experience, even in the same market. Because before, I worked in a marketing-oriented company. I follow brands. In WEPA, I found a company which is 80% private label. So a sort of supplier, no? So you didn't have, you don't push brands, you push the brands of your customer. So it's quite different, yes. And it happened that sometimes when I had something to develop, I took the decision by myself, but then my customer said, no, but you can't decide. Why I can't decide? Because the brand is not your from the customer, so it was quite different. But anyway, a product is a product, the market is the same. And anyway, so it has been a different approach. Before it was more on the packaging, new concept linked to your brand. Now it's the same, but you have to think with the brand of your customer.
Now you're doing this for like 10 years already.
10 years.
When you're thinking about the last years, how did you change in that course? How did this experience change you as a person as well, maybe?
For sure, I had to change completely my life. I live 5 days a week in another city. I left my family. But anyway, I gained new friends, and in Lucca, where there is the headquarters for WEPA Italia, we are not so much. We are really linked one to each other. So,
you had already described that you're part of a team. You're working.
I'm part of the team. In the marketing, we are two people.
Okay.
So, but Stefano Orsi, who worked with me, is more dedicated to master data and to packaging, so more numbers. And me, more for presentation, creativity.
So how do you experience this teamwork, this special teamwork with like having one colleague in your local company, but also so many other people working in the European market?
It is difficult because of the time. But anyway, I think it's a good experience, because sharing things which happen also in other countries, in other completely different market, because we have completely different market. Anyway, you can know something more and apply the same, maybe. And they took something from me, and they could apply from in their own market. Italian market, it is much closest to the French one.
Okay.
German, Poland, Holland are quite different.
Okay, interesting. So what are the key challenges you're facing in Italy when it comes to the market?
The key challenges are this one. In Italy, we have a tissue market which is completely divided in two. 50% are private label and 50% are brands. So you have to face two worlds. Also because in Italy we have brands too. In WEPA we have 3 small brands. that we use in different anyway in different channel or in different area. Where we are quite strong, but are very small. It is anyway very useful to have a brand, because a brand enable you to show maybe an innovation, and then if the customer like it, then it can transform it in private label.
Is there a certain example that you can give us when it comes to challenging situations that you still remember quite well? And maybe, maybe you can also share the solution with us. How did you solve the problem and the challenge?
For example, a very close example is innovation, the Recycle Nature Pure, for example. Recycle Nature Pure is an innovation, and we launch some product with this innovation under the brand Comprami, to show also to the customer and to let them see that we believe in it.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different story. Also, Italian market is quite pure pulp. Everybody declare to be ecologic, talk about sustainability. Within our research, where you see in the market that 84% of people declare their intention to buy a recycled product. But now, at the end, if you look at the sales on the market, the share is the 7%.
Wow.
So you see there is a big gap. So now we have to understand how to move the behavior of people from, I don't think we can do totally, but from one to another situation, to another product, which is completely different.
Yeah, I understand. Well, the story you just told us is about sustainability, and I know sustainability is a huge problem of, let's call it problem, not from our perspective, of course, when it comes to the Italian market. Do you already have like maybe one or two ideas how we can solve this issue? How to address it more to the people?
You have to advertise it, you have to explain it. We can do what WEPA in Germany is doing, because we are investing to explain this kind of, I'm talking about Recycle Nature Pure, to explain the color and the circular economy and so on. We can do it in Italy because we don't have product distributed. What we are doing is continuously propose it to the customer for private label. Every time they ask us every time we talk about of recycle nature or recycling product, it's okay. The buyer love a lot the story, but then if you push the product, they love it. But if they took it and they put it on shelf, and consumer doesn't understand why it's beige or the product would remain there.
I love listening to you, Roberta, because I feel that you're really into the topic, and feels like the change you explained us, or you're talking about at the beginning, was quite a good one, like 10 years ago, right?
See, I just say see.
What is the advice you would give other people who are maybe facing changes like that as well? What helped you in that situation?
Oh, I think that you must always be curious. Be brave. Doesn't matter. It's useful to change, but never stop to think. So talk with people. Everything is different, but at the end, if you feel well, also the people who work with you feel well. And the point is that you can always learn something.
That's true. Thank you for taking
you,
us
Alex. Maybe I talked too much.
Journey. No, I love talking to you. It was a pleasure having you here. Thank you, Roberta.
Thank you, Alex.